Make sure you have your props close by. Today is a good class for that kind of stuff, especially if we're going to hold some things. And you know, and it might be a good suggestion, something nice to do at the end of class, to rest when we're in Shavasana, resting on the back, to have some pillows under your knees, so you just elevate the knees a little bit. If you know, a bolster is like the ideal thing, but you can recreate that with a folded yoga mat, some blankets, some even blocks actually work out. So that would be under the knees. So let us begin. We'll start seated for a moment, and then we'll be finding our way to relaxing a little bit more. So much sunlight at this time of day compared to all the other weeks since we started this Tuesday class in the fall. So it's kind of nice now we're coming out of that darkness and finding more and more light through the day. So let's just let that sit with us as we start to situate our bodies and minds to be quieter and more still. And so as you're starting to find that stillness, maybe if you have that sunlight on the face, feel it. If it's not on the face, but you know it's out there, connect with it anyway. Connect with it. Let it come to the face. Let it come to your whole body. Let every breath now be something that you perceive. You're paying full attention to the breath. Notice the rhythm that's occurring with this breath. And slow that down. Let the breath begin in the belly and manifest all the way up into the collarbone. As you inhale, and then release it from the collarbone down to the belly as you exhale. And what we're going to do is allow the head and maybe the heart and the shoulders to kind of respond to this. So maybe as you exhale, you just kind of let the head go and just let it hang down. And then inhaling, building the breath from the belly. And like a balloon, you start to inflate, and then you can sense that up in the collarbone. Then the head lifts, maybe even comes back a little bit. And on the exhalation, the head starts to lower as you release from the chest, maybe even collapse in the shoulders and collapse down to like even the mid-back. So again, maybe exaggerating what's happening with the breath. Inhaling, filling. Exhaling, lowering. Deflating completely. We're going to let the arms to be a part of this process. So as you inhale and inflate from the belly up to the head, take the arms and let them lift upwards, maybe even all the way up or maybe partially. And then exhaling, deflating, releasing the arms, the head, chest, and collapsing. So let's continue this at your pace. Inhaling, feeling the fullness and this inflation. And then releasing, feeling the complete emptiness as you let go all the way. Feeling the softness of the limbs here. The relaxed joints even as they're starting to move. So not allowing any stiffness to arise here. Just feeling this gentle shape of every limb. Now at some point, switch the order of the ankles so that we can feel a little even here in the legs. And then again, beginning to move the body as it responds to the breath. A couple more. And the next time you deflate completely so that you release the arms. They get really loosened, no controlling of the arms. The head releases, and then we collapse in the shoulders and the rest of the back. And then we just start to fold over the crossed legs, finding some support for the head. And once you find it with the hands or a prop, let the head get heavier and heavier as you release the neck. Mentally letting go in the neck. So the result of that letting go is that the head gets heavier and heavier. And here we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Every exhalation, letting go a little bit more in the legs, and the neck, and the back, the shoulders. Now before we rise, let's just, realize for a moment how much we've done today, how much doing there was. And now we're just focusing on being. These postures, especially that we hold a little longer than usual, just being in the posture. Being right here in the posture. Let's find a clearing breath. Breathing in, letting everything else go so that we could just be in this posture. Now, with the breath, we start to inflate again. So not starting from the top of the body, starting from the belly, begin to inflate. So the shoulders rise after the upper back has come up. Then you might take an exhalation here and then inhale, continue to inflate, taking the arms back up. Exhale, bring the palms together, gently touching palm to palm. Bring the thumbs to the heart center. And then switch the order of the ankles. So we're kind of back where we started with the ankles. And then let's go ahead and just release the arms down. Take a deep breath in, build from the belly all the way so the arms start to elevate, start to lift. And then as you exhale, deflating all the way so that the forehead eventually finds a surface to rest on, and you can start to let go again. So here with the ankles crossed, we have a little bit of opening sensation in the hips. We have a little opening in the low back. And we can relax in the upper body and the neck. Relax in the arms. Let the head get heavier and heavier. And all your attention centered on being in this posture, being in this shape, being in this breath. Couple more full breaths. We're going to allow ourselves to clear a breath out through the mouth, letting everything else go. And then slowly start to inflate again. Work from the belly. Once the shoulders have risen, take a deep breath out and then begin to inflate again so that the arms elevate and lift up. And then again, we'll bring the palms to gently touch each other and exhale, thumbs to the heart center as you breathe out. Let's get to another position here and give the legs a rest from this. So we're going to come to hands and knees. And for the sake of the low back, loosening that area up and working as well with the strengthening, nice gentle toning of the belly, let's work through cat-cow. So inhaling, belly relaxing, tailbone, head shifting up. Feeling the length of the inhalation, and then exhaling, breathing out, hollowing out the belly and feeling the length of the exhalation. Continuing like this at your pace. We're going to continue this motion, but we're going to be bringing the forearms down. So once you come to neutral spine, you can bring forearms to the mat and then just continue this motion. So now we're going to feel a little bit more in the shoulders. Inhaling, belly sinking, the tailbone lifting, the head lifting. You could feel some more pronounced arching in the upper back and the neck. And then exhaling, rounding, bringing the head down. Stretching the back of the shoulders. Continue like this. Now we're going to let the hips lower into a child's posture. You can keep the forearms on the mat, but just begin to kind of drag them back as you bring hips down to the heels. You might need to separate the knees a little bit. But let's just take 3 deep breaths here in child's posture.
With the belly to the thighs, you can feel a little bit of compression there as you inhale and expand through belly, rib cage, pressing into the thighs. And the next inhalation, we're going to rise back up to the knees and the forearms, and then begin to send one leg to straighten up along the mat and just swaying the hips side to side as you straighten both of the legs on the mat and bring the hips down. And then we'll lower the forehead to the mat and bring the elbows in towards the waist. Now just relax the feet, let the heels point outwards, the toes touch each other, big toes. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we'll find a Sphinx today, Sphinx posture. Bring the feet together, the heels together. Activate the thighs, the glutes, and begin to lift the chest enough so that you can get the forearms forward a bit. So the elbows will be underneath the shoulders pretty much, and then we'll press into the elbows and squeeze the shoulders back and keep the head fairly neutral. So we're, kind of looking wherever the neck is, wherever it'll go, that's where it'll go. Then let the head be neutral in relation. Now see if you can engage the thighs a little bit more, engage the glutes a little bit more. Press into the elbows. And then exhale, lower the heart, bring the elbows in, push into the forearms to lift the hips up. The knees are on the mat. Then we'll start to send the hips back towards the heels and then lower the head. And we're going to alternate between these two postures. So here we're stretching and lengthening the back, and then we'll be contracting it and strengthening it. So the next inhale, rise back up and slide the hands forward, come into your forearms, lower the hips down to the mat. Begin to lower the forehead for a moment here as you exhale, and then inhale, begin to lift, activating the legs, press into the elbows. And from here we can exhale and simply bring the knees down and lift the hips, and then begin to send the hips back down towards the heels. So we're just going to go back and forth at your pace, at your breath, coming back to center, sliding the hands forward, arms down, elbows down, and then again activate the legs, the glutes, and lift, press into the elbows. You might lower or you might come right up to take the hips back to the heels. So let's take a few more of these, and this is going to help us as we progress and focus on stretching the back as well. We'll just go through maybe one or two more. And then we'll be meeting back in child's posture where we'll hang out for a moment. So if you want to separate the knees, if you want to find extension in the arms or relaxing the arms, wherever you can be and feel like this is somewhat a restorative position for you. But 3 deep breaths. So let's have the knees apart, and let's extend the arms forward with the palms down, the forearms lifted. Even if you have to lift the head a little bit, we're going to thread the needle from child's posture. So lifting the head, take the right arm and thread it underneath the left arm, and then begin to turn the face to the left and feeling Lots of lengthening here in the right shoulder, right bicep. Now you can take the left hand and create a fist to rest the right side of the face right on it, or another option is bring a block there if the side of the face doesn't easily find the mat. You want the neck somewhat level with the head, right? So it isn't majorly dropped. Now let's just take 2 more deep breaths. Nice clearing breath. We'll be taking this right arm and unthreading it and then wrapping it around the low back so that the palm is flipped upwards. And then we can just extend this left arm forward for a moment. So right hand behind the back. Now see if you can walk the hand over to the right. So the fingers kind of working with the thumb to take the left hand over to the right side of the mat, all the way off of the mat. So right arm kind of relaxed behind the back, feeling some stretching right underneath the left shoulder, down the side, around the shoulder blade. Two more deep breaths. And now we'll release the right arm and walk both of the hands to center. And just relax here in your child's posture for a moment. As you take the next few breaths, connect to the sound of Om internally. So hearing it and the silence within. It might sound like a voice, it might sound like something else. And with that feeling more and more relaxed, we're going to thread the left arm through. So lift the head, left arm comes underneath the right. Now, forgot to mention, of course, if this doesn't work for your body, then you'll come up into a table posture and just go right into thread the needle the way we typically do. But then here, if you can do it with the hips down, that you might need to bring something underneath the left temple, like the right fist or a block. Say another deep breath. And we're going to lift the head and take the right arm forward, unthread the left arm, bring it behind the back, the palm flipped up. And then right from here, walking right hand, using thumb and forefingers to walk over to the left side of the mat, finding length from the fingers down into the right waist. So right fingers, right wrist, down into the right waist. Lots of length here. Creating a strong but softly curved line. Two more deep breaths. And we'll release the left arm and walk the hands back to center. Here we'll relax into child's posture, let the head go, let the arms go. Take 3 deep breaths. We're going to get a little bit more active now, at least through the lower body. Find a clearing breath, inhaling, inflating completely, filling up with life. Exhaling, releasing, and giving back to life. And then we're going to rise to table posture, hands and knees. So those hip flexors contract for a little bit. Now we'll get to release them. So from here, bring the right foot forward between the hands. And then let's keep the left knee underneath the left hip for now, and then rise up. So the right knee and the right ankle line up, and left hip and left knee line up. And so we're going to start by just taking a few pelvic tilts in this position. So we have hands to hips, and we'll pull the pelvis in, and then we can feel the left thigh stretching and the left hip flexor stretching. Then we'll relax the pelvis, and then the tailbone starts to shift out again. So then we'll pull the pelvis in, feel left thigh opening, and then again relax. So we've taken 2. Let's take 3 more. So we'll take 5 total. Coordinating the breath with this motion. And after that 5th one, we'll have some activity in the pelvis. So we'll pull it in, but not all the way. Then lift the chest. Then let's take the arms upwards. Now we're going to create some strength in the upper back in order to help release this tense area by doing a little bit of strong motion here. So as you take your next exhalation, bend the elbows out to the sides. You can keep the fingers together, excuse me. Elbows out to the side, squeezing the muscles in the upper back, really contracting them. And then inhale, take the arms upwards. So let's do 5 of these total, so 4 more. Exhaling, drawing elbows down and back. Inhaling, lifting arms up. So make sure to keep the pelvis somewhat active here. You might even pull it all the way in, and you'll keep stretching into the thigh. I think that was 5. I feel like I want to keep going though. So we're going to take the arms up, and then we'll just let the right forearm or right hand come down to the right thigh. We're going to take a side bend. If it's too much on the knees, bring a blanket underneath or roll the left edge of the mat onto right underneath the knee. But we're taking a side bend, so left arm up and over to the right. Now, when you're here, try to straighten the arm, or at least feel that you're pulling up and out of the elbow. So that's kind of like where the focus is, so that as we're pulling that elbow up and over, we start to feel this region here stretching. And that's where we're holding a lot of tension. Another deep breath. And we'll inhale, come to center, take both of the arms up, heel toe the right foot forward. Let's take that left hip away from the left knee now, sending it forward and just sinking into a deeper lunge, into a crescent moon, maybe lifting the heart a little bit more, finding a bit of a back bend. If the arms are tired, maybe taking them outwards feels better, or maybe taking them behind and interlacing fingers feels better, or even just letting them hang loose. 2 more deep breaths. And then we'll just start to, let's say, kind of collapse forward, because we were using that image before. Bring the hands down to the inside of the right foot, and actually take this right foot, heel toe it out to the side, and then reposition the right leg so it comes into a pigeon. Take the left leg back, so right knee to right hand, left leg back. Begin to sway a little bit side to side, And then slowly make your way down so that you can let the forehead go. We'll be here for 1 minute. So why don't we count our breath today in that 1 minute? This is a really good assessment. It helps us realize what is the slowest rate of breathing we can manage when the body isn't moving too much. So first, clear a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then begin counting every breath. Either count the inhalation or the exhalation, and I'm going to tell you when to start doing that actually. So we're here a little longer. Take an exhalation, and then go ahead and begin to count every breath, moving as slowly as you can in the breath, in the lungs, in the belly. So that's our minute. So just notice, without judging, notice how many breaths you took. Now we're going to start to rise. And we want to find some extension of this right leg. So bring the left knee onto the mat and then start to take this right leg behind. You can straighten it, you can bend it, you can circle and get the hip moving. You might come into a three-legged downward facing dog. Whatever feels right to you. Now we're going to work a little bit more here on the back and the hip flexor too. So what we're going to do is find that right leg straight back with the left knee down. And keep the palms planted, fingers spread wide. Then bend that right leg so the footprint is facing the sky. And then maybe you just pick up the head here and focus on this. Or maybe you can go a little further and take the left hand to the right ankle or foot and hold. Now you might be able to pull the heel in towards the bottom. That's one place to be. Another place to be is to press the foot into the hand, the left hand. So see what feels right. And if none of that feels right, keep the foot lifted, keep the head lifted. And this is going to be creating some strength. And then we'll go ahead and lower the knee down and rest back in child's posture. Releasing. Kind of shifting in and out of doing, and then really trying to stay in this mode of being, even as we're doing. But coming into that stillness really helps us feel that. We'll take 3 more deep breaths here. Be in this breath. And then we'll start to rise back up, standing on the knees. So again, we're going to be having the right knee on the mat this time. So if you need some cushion, you get your blanket or you roll over the right side of the mat. And then we got there differently before. It's okay. We're going to step the left foot forward. So here we're aligning the left knee, left ankle, right hip, right knee. And then we'll take 5 pelvic tilts with hands to hips, pulling pelvis in, feel right thigh lengthen, and then relaxing the pelvis. Taking a few more of these.
Coordinating the breath, inhaling, relaxing, exhaling, drawing pelvis in. Okay, after these 5 tilts, we're going to keep the pelvis pulled in, you know, maybe about halfway or maybe all the way, whatever feels right to you. Next inhale, reach the arms upwards. The palms are facing forward. Bring the fingers together on each hand, and then as you take your next exhalation, draw elbows out to the sides and down. And we'll take 5 of these total, so 4 more, or maybe more. I know I took many more in the other. It just felt right, so do what feels right. Nice and slow with some resistance. So we're going to keep the arms risen, and then just send the left hand down to the left thigh, or the forearm down to the left thigh. Then stretch the right elbow up and over to the left. Now finding some length, so relaxing left arm, but really activating the right, feeling the waist, that length from the elbow down into the waist. Maybe you can even feel it into the knee. One more breath. Next inhale, bring the arms upwards. Take the left foot and scooch it upwards, heel toe, until you come into this deeper lunge here with the right knee behind the right hip, maybe looking upwards. Again, see what feels right for the arms. Each position giving a different feeling. Now we'll take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, allow a sense of collapsing down towards that left leg. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot, heel toe of the foot away from the front of the mat. And then situate the left leg to come into pigeon. So left knee to left wrist, right leg slides back. Sway a little bit. And then when you're ready, start to lower. So total period of time we were in this posture was 1.5 minutes. So we're going to be counting the breath again and seeing maybe we can slow it down just a little bit more. So if you had 8 breaths before, see if you can lower that down to 7 or 6 breaths total. If you had 5, see if you can bring it down to 3. Okay, so now taking an exhalation and then beginning now to slowly breathe and count your breaths. So that's our minute. So notice where you were at. Maybe you took more breaths than before. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of knowing where you're at and then just
working from there. So we're going to start to rise, and we'll have the right knee come down and take that left leg behind. A little bit of free movement for a moment, maybe circles with the leg. So now we're going to be extending that left leg when you're ready behind, and having the right knee down, pressing down into the hands, fingers spread wide. This might be plenty right here. This is a very wonderful strengthening posture. It's a variation of spinal balance. So if you want to go further, maybe you take the footprint towards the sky. You get a little bit of an extra push and strengthening. Now maybe if you want to go a little further and take right hand, balancing on this left hand, take right hand to left foot or ankle. You might draw the heel in towards the bottom, stretching the thigh. Or you might kick the foot into the hand and really work on some strengthening in the back, on the back of the leg. Opening the right shoulder, the chest. And then we're going to be exhaling, releasing, lowering knees down. Take the knees apart, find your child's posture. One more time here, relaxing in, letting go, hopefully feeling some release in some part of the body, the lower body, the upper. We'll take a nice breath in through the nose, letting everything go on that exhalation. No need to think about anything at this time, just fully focused on being right here. And then we're going to rise up and come to seated. So when you're ready, cross ankles, find a seat. Maybe sit on a platform, a pillow, blanket to help out. Let's find some twists in this position. So ankles are crossed. So we started this way. Let's take left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Get tall and then turn, pressing into the hands. Turn to the right. Keep twisting. Keep pressing into the hands, but turn the head left and right a few times to loosen up in the neck. And then continue to turn the head to the right. A couple deep breaths. Inhale, come to center. Twisting to the left, right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Get tall, press into the hands to turn. This is, we're going to take 2 variations of twist. So this is our first, a little more gentle. Keep pressing into the hands, turn the head left and right a few times. And then keep turning the head to the left. And we'll come to center. So next stage of our twist, let's come into Marichyasana, letter D. So we can just keep the left ankle down, the knee down, and the left leg relaxed. Plant the right foot, and then see if it feels better to take it further or closer to the left foot. Here we'll start to twist to the left. Hold the right leg steady with the left hand. Turn to the right, plant the right hand down, fingers face back. Then you can bring the heart kind of a little bit back where it was to lift the left arm up, and then send that left elbow outside of the right knee or thigh. Get tall and then turn. See if you can keep the right arm straight like it's a second spine. So it's supporting you. It's a nice pillar as you turn to the right. You can also hug the right leg. A few different variations here. Keep turning the head to the right. Turn the eyes all the way to the right. Right corners of the eye sockets. Exercising the eyes.
One more deep breath. And we'll inhale, come to center. From here, we'll exhale and switch the legs, going right into the left side. So when you're ready, left hand behind, fingers face back, holding this left leg, stabilizing. Then send right arm up, find length in the spine. Exhale, draw that arm down to the outside of the thigh. Get nice and tall. Pull the belly in, give some space here, and then turn to the left, pushing this right arm into the left leg. Keeping that left arm straight, strong pillar to hold the trunk up without leaning into it. Take the eyes all as far left as you can. One more breath. And inhale, come to center. Let's take the left leg out in front. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Flex the left foot. Inhale, reach the arms upwards. Exhale, fold into the left leg. Hands can go behind the thigh, behind the calf, or hold the foot, but let's look for length in the back now. So inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling, bending the elbows to send the heart forward. And then we can keep doing that, especially if we struggle with this position. So we'll inhale, straighten the arms, lift the heart, exhale, fold in. Maybe even let the head go for a moment. As low as you are, you can still be doing this without rising all the way up. It's just a halfway up as you straighten the arms. And then lowering. And then on the next exhalation, fold in. Take 3 deep breaths. And we'll inhale, rise up. That's the first stage for the back of the legs. We're gonna go into 2 stages here. So switch legs. And we have right leg extended, right toes upward because the foot is flexed. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands somewhere to the leg without strain, without pain. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, send the heart forward. Again, here we're working with the arms so that we can straighten the arms on the inhale and then bend on the exhale. And then once you find that next exhalation, stay there for 3 deep breaths. Remembering to bend the knee on the extended leg if that helps you deal with tightness. So you can get that trunk forward a little bit. And we'll inhale, rise. So before we go into the second stage to stretch the back of the legs, we're going to find a back bend. So let's come all the way down. And we're going to come into bridge posture, Setu Bandhasana. Got the feet close to the bottom, walking the heels so they might even touch the bottom. The feet are the same distance as the sitting bones. So not the outer hips, but the actual sitting bones. Then when you're ready, walk the shoulders back. Pull the pelvis in, lift the hips upwards, and then begin to find your variation with the arms. So tightness, lots of tightness. You want to have elbows down, forearms lifted, fingers skyward. If you've got a little bit more openness, fingers interlace under hips, walk shoulders even closer back towards each other. Lots of activity in the upper back, mid back, low back, back of the legs. Keep the knees drawing in towards each other. Lift the hips a little higher. One more breath. And exhale, lower down.
We're going to come back to seated, but before we do, just take a nice clearing breath. Feeling even more relaxed than when you started. Now we'll start to find our way to seated, and here we're going to sit with the legs in a wide V. So for lots of tightness, you'll sit on a blanket or pillow or blocks even. And then we'll take the legs and separate them apart. Have a prop in front of you if you think you're going to be able to bring forehead to rest. Like you can make that as high as needed. Like this is pretty high. And then you basically just start to release down. So let the forehead come to something and rest. And I don't need this much, but I just want to be clear that we can build a castle to help support. You can bend the knees, but keep the toes skyward. If you can straighten the legs without feeling like someone's pulling your back behind you, then you can straighten the legs. Now let's just focus on being in this posture, letting all thoughts go. And then even if you notice a thought coming in, you simply become aware of it and you notice it's there, but then you just let it be on its way. You don't have to entertain the thoughts. Breathing and being in the breath. Re-exhalation, the head gets heavier, the trunk gets heavier. You might be experiencing that first sense of release. Keep breathing slowly. And enjoying this calmness that the breath can bring. Enjoying this peace and slow moving breath as life enters and as you give a little bit back to life. And it fills you up again and you give a little bit back. Now we're going to travel to one side and then the other. So when you're ready, just come up halfway. Take the hands and walk them a little closer to maybe the left leg first and feel the right side of the body stretch. Hands can come to the leg. The head won't find support in this position most likely. It's just going to kind of be there for a moment. We're going to turn this into a side bend. It's because we've done a few of those today, so we want to make use of that. So let's take another deep breath. And then we're just going to come up a bit so that we can take hand to leg or hand to foot. If you can get hand to foot, turn the palm inward towards the foot and then hold the inner part of the foot. Take that right arm up and over and find a nice side bend. If you're a little higher up, focus on the elbow. So you can even keep the arm bent, but focus on sending the elbow up and over. And then we'll start to release out of this and walk over to the other leg, folding into this leg first.
Another breath. Let's look for the side bend. So come up halfway, hand somewhere, right hand somewhere down, left arm up and over. Again, maybe focus on the elbow even if it's bent, or send the arm up and over. One more deep breath. Release down and then walk back to center, where we'll take maybe 2 or 3 full breaths here. As we release down, see maybe we can get a little lower than we were before. And then begin to rise, walking the trunk up by the use of the hands, folding the legs. You might need the assistance of the hands. We're going to touch on the neck for a moment, and then we'll come to lying down and finding our restful position. So sitting up tall, bring the hands somewhere in towards the upper thighs and relax the arms. Maybe hands fold into each other. Take the shoulders up, back, and down. Maybe roll one more time. And then settle the shoulders down. Turn the head left and right a few times. And make sure we stay mobile and open in the neck. And then bring the head to center. Drop the chin down and up a few times. And then we'll bring the head to center. Tilt the head. Let's tilt the head to the right. So lifting the left ear upward. Focus on lifting the left ear. Now let the left shoulder get heavier and heavier. And bring the head to center. Lift the right ear towards the sky. Let this right shoulder become heavy like a rock. And then we will bring the head back to center. Give a little bit of motion to the head. That was short but effective stretching. So we want to just kind of open up a little bit more by moving the head. And then we're going to set up to lie down on the back. And so we're going to see about elevating the knees today. So if you have a blanket you could roll and bring underneath the knees, try that. 2 blocks is also effective. That works really well too. 1 block under each knee. And then just relaxing all the way down. You might even find a gentle back bend while you're here. So the arms away from the trunk, the palms flipped up, lift the belly button. And then exhale, relax the low back. There'll be a little space between the low back and the mat. Let the legs get a little heavier. Let the arms get a little heavier. Let the head get heavier. Feel the eyes get heavy in the eye sockets. Take a breath in through the nose. Release out through the mouth. At this time, no effort at all in being, no effort in breathing, no effort in controlling thoughts, no effort in controlling feelings or emotions, no effort in controlling the body in any way. And letting the body feel heavy. Letting the right eye feel heavier and heavier.
Letting the left eye feel heavier and heavier. Both the right eye and the left eye heavy, resting in the eye sockets. Nothing to see. Let the right ear feel now completely relaxed and heavy in the inner channels of the ear and the right ear lobe. And let the left ear feel heavier, completely relaxed in the inner channel of the ear and the external earlobe. Feel the weight of the ears and the channels of the ears nestling into that space. Feel the weight of the brain. Feel the weight of the chin. The weight of the throat. Getting heavier and heavier in the throat. The weight of the collarbone. The weight of the collarbone. The weight of the elbows. Feel the weight of the wrists. And now feel the weight of the fingernails. Feel the weight of the hips. Feel the weight of the knees. Feel the weight of the heels, heavy like rocks. Now feel the weight of the toenails. And just be as completely as you can be in this position, resting. This posture, corpse posture, Shavasana, might make you feel totally emptied out, completely relaxed, without the need to do anything. But of course we have to bring this body back to life and start to animate it again, since life is still moving through it, and we can feel grateful for that. So now let's use the breath to bring life to this body again, inhaling and inflating it, and with every inhalation feeling a little lighter in the whole body, from the head, the eyes, the chin, the ears, the brain, all of the joints feeling lighter and lighter, and the collarbone and the elbows feeling lighter, and the wrists and the fingernails feeling lighter in the hips, lighter in the knees and the ankles, the heels lighter like feathers, the toenails light. Every inhalation, feeling the animation of the body as you breathe more deeply. And giving new life to the body, the heart, and the mind. And then now starting to let yourself move the fingers, move the toes, the ankles, the wrists. Might move the support from behind the knees if you had it, and stretch the arms back and stretch the feet forward. And then bringing the knees into the chest, the arms around the knees, rocking a little side to side. Maybe the head feels good to move with the body or in the opposite direction. And taking the knees to one side to find a little spinal twist. And over to the other side. Rolling to one side, pause there for a moment. And then rise up to seated to seal this practice. And once you've risen, bringing the hands together, thumbs at the heart center. We started and the sun was so bright, and now the sun has descended, and yet we aren't completely in darkness yet. So beautiful to just watch these changing seasons based on the activities we do. So with the hands together, let's sound Om to seal this intention of being here that we've practiced together. So breathing in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.